About 5 years ago, my husband said to me, if there's one thing that you want out of your career, what would it be? But I had in my heart one thing, and that one thing was, I said to him, if Lulu ever hosted some authors, if I could just be at a Lulu table, represent them, and do a signing at an expo, that's it. I'd be done. I'd be so happy. It's about a sexual assault that I went through, this character goes through, but it is very sensitive, the language is very sensitive, but it is an empowering, positive story about how to get through. I don't know the process of how America's Star Book works, but the fact that they are no longer was very sad for me, because meeting the team and having them support me last year was really exciting. That coupled with Paperback Radio, who owned America's Star Books as well. The demise of all of that was really, really sad, and I suppose it was a little bit hard to adjust, because at that time I didn't know if I was going to come back to New York this year, because I didn't have a host. So I was, even though I wasn't published with them, I was still kind of left like, oh, what do I do now? You know, normally when one door closes, another one opens, and I know it's a cliche, but just by chance the America's Star Book booth was sitting opposite Lulu's booth, and I couldn't believe it. And actually in 2016 in Chicago, I searched for their booth because I was dying to meet some staff, and I couldn't find the booth. I even went to the front desk and said, is the Lulu booth here? And they're like, oh, no, we don't know. I was just wanting to track down this booth. And so last year when they were opposite me, we just couldn't believe it. And it was the first time I'd seen the staff, and actually they took some of my books from the table that I was sitting on and had them. And it was really exciting because we were sending people over to each other's table, and just being able to see how they operated and how positive they were. And they just had a small table, and they were showing their work. So throughout the year, they followed my developments and they kept in contact with me on a personal note. So when they asked me to appear at the Book Expo this year, I couldn't believe it. Because funnily enough, about 5 years ago, my husband said to me, if there's one thing that you want out of your career, what would it be? And of course the obvious answer is to sell 1 million books, to make a movie and do this. But I had in my heart one thing, and that one thing was, I said to him, if Lulu ever hosted some authors, if I could just be at a Lulu table, represent them, and do a signing at an expo, that's it. I'd be done. I'd be so happy. I've appeared at the Book Expo for 2 days, and for those 2 days I was actually Lulu's only author to do a signing and appear. And I didn't know that until the day that I arrived, because I know today for the BookCon there are 3 other people doing a signing, including Omar Epps, the actor. So I expected for yesterday and the day before that for me to just slot in my hour amongst some other authors, but I turned up and they're like, oh no, you're the only person, and I was like, seriously? You know, and seeing my name behind on the billboard, you know, in lights was just incredible. You know, it just made me feel really appreciated as an author, and appreciated as somebody who, you know, that utilises them and is really proud to be not part of their team, but just one of their most excited, and I like to think ambitious, you know, passionate writers, and continue to be for many, many years, I think. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. As you can imagine, being asked to come this year, not only for one day, but 3, was an absolute dream come true. So, the only advice that I can give is to just keep plugging away at your dreams, and just put your hand up, go for it, you know, push, make yourself known, You know, if you love your work, you're just going to want to be behind your work 100%. Easier said than done sometimes, I know, but it's true.